Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. We're in the middle of a self-care challenge. If you're just joining us, you are right on time for self-care. Some people have been here the whole month, so we're on day 25. And we are just doing small things. They cost nothing. They're just an intention to move our life forward for the better. Tomorrow's intention is to release a secret. Like, what is burdening you? What is that one thing that you're so afraid that if other people knew? That kind of thing. Or like El Diablo, and you're saying, Satan, get behind me. Because you do not want something hanging over you like that. And I'm not suggesting that you release that to the world. I mean, sometimes in telling a secret, while it's certainly freeing, there's a huge risk. You may tell someone that you thought you could trust, but ultimately they decide they know better than you and they turn it on you, which is terrible. Oh my gosh, so terrible. The other thing is, and I'm Catholic, and of course we have confession, and people misunderstand that. They think that you're asking for the priest's forgiveness, and you're not. He's just an intermediary. He just sits there and allows you to express to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs, which is what they say in the 12-step program, let alone the Bible. And then from there, with God's understanding that you have indeed said your truth and asked for the forgiveness, the priest is allowed to say, through God's grace you have been forgiven. Not a priest will never say, through my power I forgive you. Hooey whatty? Like, every priest knows he does not have that power, okay? But through God's grace as an intermediary, I recognize that you've been forgiven. It's that kind of thing. Anyway, so it's really freeing. And if you're a person who happens to be Catholic and you haven't been to confession forever, this is the perfect time, because this is the Easter season and every parish in the entire world is having, a weekly confessional. And they're a little easier. It's not one-on-one like it normally would be. They're mass confessionals, if you will, where they have like 12 or 14 priests, and you simply go, somewhere within the church and do your confession. So this would be a very gentle time if that's your story. But what I'm saying is you need to release whatever that is. And yes, if you have a trusted person, I, by the way, am a God person and a trusted person. And I will tell you, I have many, many secrets of others, and I have the grace to not do anything about them because I know it's not about me. I know that it's just a person trying to tell their truth, and they want to be heard. And I'm like one of those people who are really good at letting someone know that they've been heard. But anyway, so yeah, you could certainly do that. You certainly could. JulesBlessedVegan at yahoo.com. You can find me at Juliana McCants on Facebook, Instagram, anything like that. I would definitely allow myself to hear whatever your thing is. But what you could easily do is simply write it on a piece of paper and then rip the paper into a million pieces. You could burn that piece of paper. Excuse me. You can certainly go into nature and ask the universe to hear whatever it is, but don't let something have power over you. There's a lot of grace in releasing whatever that burden is. And really, if you are a God-fearing person, which of course by God-fearing it means you honor the Lord, and your objective ultimately is the next realm, the heavenly realm, because this is the shortest life we will ever live, then you need to know that whenever you're called on your imperfections, it's God's grace saying, hey, clean that up before your last breath. It's just the better way. It is totally the better way. And by you, I mean me, right? This is telling myself this too, like the devil just loves anything in the dark, and God just loves the light. He loves the light, and he just wants to bring everything to the light. And there's so much freedom in that. So for your self-care, again, just write it out if you need to. Speak it to the universe. If you're not a prayer person, whatever little thing you do, the candle you light, the whatever it is that you do it. And let one thing go. Because that burden isn't necessary. All Jesus ever spoke of was love. I mean, Jesus is God incarnate, meaning he's in human form. He's not a pushover, though, right? So when you do confess, you're supposed to try and amend whatever it is in any way that you can. If you stole money, you're supposed to attempt to return the money. And if you can't return it, then you certainly can donate in the same amount. If you lied to somebody, they may not even be open to hearing that you're sorry. People harden their hearts. I so get it. But you can certainly try. And again, there's an energy that you can put out into the universe, that the universe will willingly accept. Like so often, if somebody is sexually abused and things like that, they it's not even appropriate for them to be with their abuser. And God would never ask that. Excuse me, I'm as usual having asthma right now. God would not ask that of anybody. But they can certainly be a loving daughter to someone else who's a father figure. They can be a loving mother to another child who's just out there. They can be random in their acts of kindness, if not to their belly button family, right? So there's always a way to give, to volunteer, to amend. And years ago, I had stolen money myself, and I've long since confessed all of this, but I was in a really bad place, and I had taken money, and I couldn't fix that. But I more than amended that in the universe. And as you know, I give over $1,000 a month in tithing. Just knowing that all money flows from God, and it's just a universal truth that all of life is borrowed, right? I think about Jesus when he showed up on the planet and he was born in a borrowed manger, right? And then when he died, he was placed in a borrowed tomb. And all throughout, it was really, and I know we don't know that much about his early years, and I know his family was fabulous and his mother was amazing. I'm good friends with Mary, by the way. But most of it, and certainly his 3 years of public life, were all by grace. They were all borrowing through the kindness and acceptance of others, and he gave the word, and he gave the truth, and he showed the better way. But in terms of the materialism and stuff, other than the miraculous, which of course I love, it was borrowed. And that's kind of how his life was. So if you cannot amend or fix something in real time, you can still put it out in the universe, which will happily take it. And it'll be such a relief, right? All right, my friends, that was bigger than I thought, but there it is. What can you release? What burden can you release, right? What secret can you let go of? I'd love to know. All right, if you like, join us. If you haven't, subscribe. Shout out to the Pope today on totally turning over the Ukraine and Russia to our precious Immaculate Heart of Mary. I hope we see the miracle sooner rather than later. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.